What up, everybody? We're back with another Tales from the Flipside, episode 161. Couple technical difficulties, but we've got a great show tonight. Got John Gallagher at Uncanny Knack on IG hanging out with us tonight. We got some great news to share with you guys and a lot of comic talk. Stick around.
You're listening to Tales from the Flipside. Tales from the Flipside. Tales from the Flipside.
All right. We were hoping we were going to have the third compadre at the recent convention that Nico, Dino, and Carter went to. We're going to start the show straight off with some convention talk. And we've got a bunch of stuff, so we're just going to get right into it, guys. You guys hit up a convention, a Harper show out in Pittsburgh?
Cleveland.
Northeast Ohio.
Cleveland. So all right, fill us in, because this show, the talk that's been going on in our backstage rooms, in our texts lately about this show, some of the things that happened at a show, we finally got the chance to get out to a new show. It's been crazy. So Nico, fill us in on what the show, what happened, what was it about?
Well, it was unreal. They started early. The line was so big. The show promoter was like, "We're just trying to open the doors. If you could please just do your best to accommodate us." We had an unruly crowd. I felt like I was at like a WWE house show or something. And they came in and spent crazy money. I mean, just crazy money on anything and everything. And
to the point where it was so exciting that you were seeing money being spent in front of you rather than on the internet?
It was just wild. I mean, in other words, people spent recklessly, I think, is about the best way to describe it. One of the guys that I was set up with did like $400 in dollar books in a 3-foot space.
Wow.
Yeah, at a show where there were maybe 40 dealers. I sold a $1,300 book in the first 10 minutes at a small show with
Wow.
Again, 40 dealers there.
How big was the space? Was the area, and was it like a hotel type?
Hotel ballroom.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it was just wild. And all of the fantasies that people had about unpicked show stock all came true. I think Carter can kind of attest to that better than me. You got there before I did, right?
Yes, I did. Oh,
Thank you, kind sir. Yeah, and your complaint was that some of the other dealers had already ravaged the boxes.
Oh my gosh, there were key issues to be had for like just maybe under $200. I'm talking like maybe the first Juggernaut, the first or Fantastic Four number 49, Hawkman number 4. We're talking like stuff like that, just going for like pennies on the dollar compared to what they're going for now. It was pretty unreal.
Yeah, and this is in Cleveland. I mean, this isn't some like fly-by-night show in some small area that has had a bunch of like people who should be set up at a flea market that happen to roll over with some comic books. I mean, these are sophisticated show dealers, a lot of people who do national shows. We had guys come in from Kentucky, Michigan, travel, a ton for a very small venue. Through the door, there had to be every bit of 1,000 people.
Wow.
It's
for a little show.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it seemed like that. There was a toy show in the kind of immediate area, like in the hour radius, maybe a month prior, and I believe that the number on that was 1,600. So people wanted to be out and about. People wanted to throw those dollars around.
Was it like masks and distancing and hand sanitizer and stuff?
There were masks. There were hand sanitizer. There was hand sanitizer. As far as the social distancing goes, nah.
Just a con.
Just don't cough on me. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, I was
Right.
berated for wearing, like a double mask with a N95 and like a sanitary mask over top of it. I mean, it's Ohio, so
we're built different.
Yeah. Well,
up here.
well,
there's boxes to dig through. You're gonna sacrifice.
yeah.
Wait,
There was a guy who had nothing but a box of Junior Mints and a briefcase, which I found to be almost as entertaining as a dude in a wizard hat. There was a guy who was a ringer for John Leguizamo's The Violator, except for he was an African American. He had a girlfriend, which was pretty amazing. I mean, it was just a wild show with all the sights and sounds and foam swords and people who shouldn't be in cosplay. I don't care what their partner asked them to do in private. It was all there. The spectacle was all there.
that's awesome. So you could have played the cosplay bingo, like the first Fat Deadpool.
They were all there. They were all there. I was just like, why is this guy dressed like a stormtrooper?
Oh,
It
well,
doesn't even make sense. He's in a hotel ballroom. They loved it. They absolutely loved it.
Excuse me. Can I take a picture with you, please?
Yeah, there wasn't any
It's like-
beef
it's all
jerky. The only thing that was missing is nobody asked to hold my book and take a picture with it, which I was disappointed. But that speaks to the quality of my books, not to the quality of the convention.
well, it sounds like Dino was recognized on a pretty regular basis. He was a superstar out there. Did he wear the red coat?
He didn't, but we're gonna let Dino believe that he's
Thanks,
a
Taco.
national celebrity, as opposed to the fact that like our other friends were just like, "Hey, you're on my friend's podcast." So don't break his heart. But yeah, he got recognized through the mask like a half a dozen times. I got to meet his wife, who is just all class. She's funny and smart, and tolerates us, which.
yeah.
Well-
She's incredibly tolerant.
You put up with me for a whole weekend in Charlotte, so it's a good one right there.
We have a book to give away later on tonight from last week's show. I think that book was in the Hot 10 again this week, and that is West Coast Avengers number 45, the newsstand edition, which is selling for a pretty penny right now. Ooh, yeah. And the only one that's surviving out of that, we'll get in more into the WandaVision stuff in a little bit, and we'll also hit a little bit deeper at the con. But we do have 123 live listeners. I want to remind everybody to subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Let us know how we're doing. We appreciate all the live listeners that hang out with us every week, and thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Real fast, we do have a little bit of an announcement. We are going to get Dinesh on the channel early next week or tomorrow, we're hoping. So
Dinesh
keep an
Smith, right?
Yeah, Dinesh Smith.
No.
No.
No,
Well,
Dinesh
everybody knows.
Shamdasani from
everybody's
Bad Idea.
Yes,
That-
bad idea.
He's like
yes, sir.
Madonna.
Not that right-wing
Yeah,
filmmaker.
he's like Madonna. He's only got a first name. Oh.
It's not a bad thing, man. It's not a bad thing. Well, real
booked the
fast.
wrong guy. I
We-
booked
well,
the wrong
we-
guy.
Yeah, we talked a little bit in the Hot 10 last week. Stein had written, honorable mention, and a lot of people were talking about Bad Idea last week with the release of the first book. There was a lot of talk about it on the social media, a lot of talk about it from retailers, and Dinesh reached out to Ben and the fam and said, hey, I want to make this right, and I want to, get on and talk about it. And so big respect to him. So we'll see how it goes. So make sure you guys tune in, make sure you guys hit the bell so you'll be notified when this stuff drops. But we're hoping for tomorrow. So keep your eye on the Flipside channel. So it's going to be really interesting. A lot of stories and news from around the comic world having to do with Bad Idea and the release of their first book last week. So it's going to be really interesting to talk about that, and it'll be fun. We'll see how
7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, we're hoping around 7 Eastern time. So keep your eye on the channel for that. All right.
Can Can I give one shout out real quick to
Mhm.
a friend of the show? You guys might have done it last week, but you want to throw me up?
Yep.
I just got these in the mail from a friend of the show. He used to do a lot of the art challenges when we did the art charity raising events. Neil Jones did a variant cover for Undone by Blood, The Other Side of Eden. He did the Comic World variant. This is his first published cover, so I just want to give him a shout out and congratulations, man. Nice work, beautiful. Give him some love if you remember him, and order a copy or two.
Yeah, Neil is a good dude, and Dino did show off his book.
Oh, that thing's amazing. That's steampunk.
Yeah, that's steampunk Spider-Man. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. I think Sean had his hands on that book at one point too.
Well, we were gonna grade it, so I pressed to
the best you could.
Yeah, but I don't even think I did actually. No, that's not true. I was sending his books in, so he sent that with it. I mean, it's like original. It's like I don't press a lot of like full art covers that are literally drawn on with like. I can tell you how paper is gonna react, but I can't tell you how everybody's art. Autographs are fine, but like, yeah. So no, actually, I didn't press it, but I did have it, and we did the submission. And they said they were gonna give him a yellow label because he had filled something out, but they just sent him the copy back, gave him a green. But I mean, PC Book, who gives a shit? He knows it's real.
Yep. And hopefully he doesn't plan on selling it anytime soon. Thank you. The big hitters are in the chat tonight, and we appreciate them. Chris, Doc, Joe. I seen Rob hit us up. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you, brother. We do have John Gallagher in the house tonight. For those of you guys, I did mention it. And he's been hanging out. We told him tonight he's just going to hang out and be part of the crew. We did the whole interview thing last week, and I'm sure he gets a little bit tired of all the interview stuff, and he's just going to hang out and be part of the crew. Well,
I don't.
He's flattery is good for him. But we do have a really cool premiere tonight for Wanted Comics and John's most recent exclusive. So make sure you guys stick around. We'll be doing that a little later, and you're going to want to stick around for this one.
Has anyone seen it other than you, Brian?
There's been a couple people that have seen it. I know Sean. I think Sean's have seen it. I know John's seen it. I hope John's seen it. Yeah, I hope John's seen it. I was worried
my assistant did it, and I just kind of signed off.
I was worried that John was going to pull like a Hive Comics and have it sitting in the background and give it away. But the way Hive Comics, I will give the Hive Comics guys throw out a little respect to them because they did it in a cool way. They didn't let anybody know about Berserker, and then in our year in review show, they had it in the background, which is really cool. And they were on the Modern Comics Mayhem show last Saturday. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, it was a really good show. They hung out the whole show. And it was a lot of fun. I'm hearing a lot of people had a lot of fun watching that live and hanging out in the chat. So again, thank you for everybody that hangs out with us live. But all right, let's get into the goodies of the convention. There was a couple real big goodies. Nico, he looks like he's frozen. I can't tell if he's blinking or if he's frozen, but I think he's frozen.
Who, me?
Yeah, there you go, brother. You're back. You're back. There he blinks. There we go. But let's get into this. Nico, you had one of probably the big purchases of the show that was pretty interesting here. Let me find it. I got so much stuff going on. How'd you walk away with one of these?
All right, so I flip books. Long story short, I picked up a Mystery Men Comics #1 Raw at the beginning of COVID after walking into a random comic shop and asking a retailer, like, hey, do you have any older books? And he's like, no, but I have a guy that wants to sell me one of these. It was incomplete, looked like it had a coffee stain on it. And, I had a very kind soul press the hell out of it. Was able to move that for $1,300. Flipped the first Golden Age appearance of Dracula, which is Eerie #12, for $1,000, and paid $2,000 for this one. I feel like I had about a $500 cash investment, including the slabbing fees, minus my profit on the other 2 books. The nice thing about this one is it's unpressed. Now it does have some tiny color breaks, but if I can get a 9.4, it's a major upswing for me. So that's the play I'm going to try to make. We'll see how it goes.
Actually,
the interesting part is Carter had it in his hand when I bought it.
I'll tell you what. My friend, he was looking at. He's like, "Oh wow, there's the variant." So we walked over, and I know the guy that sold Nico this. He's the manager at Carol and John's comic shop in Cleveland, and he had this since forever. Since probably. So I think he plucked that right off the stand. So he's had this forever. And he just said, I slabbed it. I didn't have like he said, he didn't have it pressed. And I would really like to. And he told me when Nico gets this thing pressed, he would like to know what it comes back as. But my buddy Trev, he was looking at it, and George Nico, he comes over. He goes, "Oh, so what did you tell?" He's like, "Oh, how much? Did you ask him how much or what?"
Well, I knew after our other friend Keith was over there looking at it and walked back to the table that he was just going to get cash, whether he admits it or not.
Yeah.
You guys went right up to the table, and I was like, "This is my one shot." So I beelined it over there. I knew it had the $2,500 price sticker on it. I was like, 2,000 cash now.
Right.
Counted out the cash right in front of the guy.
Listen. Hey, those hundreds looks real crispy.
Yeah.
They look crispy.
Ready? And then the next move when buying big books, I put the money in his hand.
Yes, you did.
Right? Like I know how to close the deal.
It works. It literally making them physically touch the money works.
It worked.
It really works. They don't want to give it back, and they're just like, "Transaction's halfway done already. I don't have to think about it." I've had people do it to me. I've done it to people. I'm not saying I would always do it, but if it was something being invited for, like right now, that book one way or another wasn't going to last the con. Right. Somebody was leaving with that book if the guy wasn't asking, $12,000 for it or something like that. It was someone who's going to leave with that book. Sometimes you hem-haw, walk around like, it's just a book I really want. It's a first appearance, high grade or something. Or, I'll be back later and see how this goes. So shit like that, man, just figure it out. Get in and out as fast as you can. So good maneuvers.
I know. Listen, I didn't have $2,000 to spend, and I already had one. So I'm super happy for you. So welcome to the club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did gangbusters at the con. Just gangbusters. It was shocking. And my joke, if you guys remember, is I don't know how to sell comics at this con. Like I've been trying since I was a little kid, and it was like a whole different experience. And I didn't have any different pricing scheme. I had half the boxes that I usually have. People were just spending money.
No, so you did. So your sales were good also.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Good.
Well, I think this is a big score out of this, right? But unfortunately, as Nico likes to say, Carter likes to break the internet. And Carter is about to break the internet, or he already did break the internet. If you guys haven't seen Carter's latest video on his channel, make sure you go check it out. YouTube.com/Mercenaut. You see it in his name tag there. But there's a book out there that we're gonna talk about here, and he kind of talked about it a little bit, and it's a pretty big find. Let's talk about Spidey Super Stories #1. And the guts that nobody has really talked about until you did it recently.
Yeah, there was it seemed like earlier this year or late last year, like just Spidey Super Stories back issues in general, were kind of doing a little something. You know what I mean? Like there was just kind of like it's like a just an interest, and especially in number 11 because we had that first the first appearance of the Black Spider Woman in that issue. And I was looking through back issues at this show, and I had come across a really nice copy of Spidey Super Stories #1 for like $20. But I'm cheap, you know what I mean? And I really didn't want to spend $20. But I figured it's in such beautiful condition. I just figured let's look at the insides. Let's see. I'm trying to find a reason not to buy this. And then I'm just kind of flipping through it, and then I see this image right there of just a young black teen in a Spider-Man getup, and I'm like, "Is this what's going on here? Is this Miles Morales before Miles Morales?" And I'm just like, "Okay, I got to buy this." And then, no sooner as I buy it, I run over to Nico and Dino, who was there, and I'm just like, "God, you got to look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!" And they were interested in it. I think like whatever copies that were at that show got immediately bought up. And hell, I even bought another copy off of eBay myself. And then right after that, it was like I put out a video like later, like that night, probably around midnight or something like that. And then like just a ton of copies of Spidey Super Stories #1 got bought up.
I remember hearing about this sometime in the last year. Like, just I don't know if it was on a YouTube channel or maybe an article somewhere mentioned it in passing, but like nowhere big didn't kind of get picked up. I just don't think people think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Carter's humble. Here's the reason why I think it's the spec play of 2021. Couple different reasons. All of the economics aside, okay. And the economics are there. Like Valerie, the Black Spider Woman, is like a $250 fair book. Number 11. It's super rare. The Electric Company comics are hard to find. They're real hard to find in high grade. All that crap aside, in 1977, a young black kid could only dream of being Spider-Man. That's what this story is, right? I mean, that's as close as you're ever going to get to anyone other than the Prowler masquerading as Spider-Man to dupe the media, when he's trying to be the reformed black criminal of the 60s. Like, it is a beautiful story. He's a hero in it, even though it's a dream sequence. He fights Electro and the Vulture. And, this is like it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. I mean, I woke up with goosebumps. I was so excited after Carter showed this to me, and I had some time to digest it. I love it.
Yeah, great find.
I think it's brilliant.
And I'm sure it's probably been talked about somewhere, but people have forgot about it. Evidently, they've really forgot about it because I didn't know about this. And I love the Spidey Super Stories series because I've always loved that Thanos issue. So I'm always looking for the
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that literally is the first reason that I started looking was to get to 37. 39 was the first Thanos copter, and like everything Thanos was just selling with all through the whole time the Avengers is the whole 10-year run, everything Thanos, or especially since after the Guardians of the Galaxy post credits, anything Thanos would sell, and this was not that hard to find the Thanos one, but really generally going to be $5 or less, and going to get you $40 or $50. So, but we all forgot about Thanos now. So.
Yeah, and I like this. I like the Star Wars one. There's a clone one that I want to get my hands on just to read. Now I'm fascinated with the whole series.
Right. Well, there's also a Miss Marvel one, and really early. I'm trying to find them for you guys. Here you go, Z. There's a really good shark cover here.
Yeah,
I'll ask for the shark cover.
But there is a early Miss Marvel one too. That's a really good one. I mean, but there's some really great covers in this run. Here you go. Here's an early Miss Marvel one.
Yeah, I think
Miss Marvel.
Isn't that her second appearance or something crazy?
It's up there. just great stuff. And this is a series that for the longest time, there's the clone one. I love this one. I love how their colors are transposed. I always thought that was really cool. But this was a series that people didn't buy for the longest time because it was kind of considered almost like a kid series, right? Or like almost.
Yeah. They're one-off stories.
They were more expensive than the regular comics.
Okay.
And that's why no one bought them.
Interesting.
The 35 cents, you mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Was Electric Company a Canadian show, an American show?
It's an American show. We can't take credit for that one.
Okay. Well, the reason it's funny, John. The reason why I asked is because some of the conversation was that a lot of sellers who had this talk before the show were Canadian sellers. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, no, all the books have settled in Canada on eBay. I'm just like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
We,
really cool
as a matter of fact, it was one of the few comics that we had in schools. You could these were considered certified, like they weren't. They were utterly benign in the eyes of educational administrators. So we had these comics in our libraries in school.
Interesting.
And it was one of the few books that was. I mean, in fact, I think perhaps unique in that regard. I mean, it isn't anymore, of course, but at the time, I mean, I was just a punk when this came out. I mean, I'm a punk now, but I was tinier, tinier punk with less mileage on me. And yeah, it was available. And of course, being the only comics in an elementary school library, they were never around.
Makes sense. Probably torn to shreds.
So that may explain the overabundance, perhaps may explain the overabundance of Canadian sellers. That, or maybe we knew something nobody else did.
Yeah, shout out to Drew Lujan from Wanted Comics in the chat tonight. He says old guys used to watch Electric Company. Just saying.
I remember.
I used to watch Electric Company. That was my first introduction to live action Spider-Man.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
I would be so excited to see just that live action Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you know,
and the sound that his thought bubbles made. It was the best. He'd get into a fighting stance and he'd go, whoop, 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 whoop. I'm like, just kick the shit out of him.
Hey, Morgan Freeman. I remember for a while back, isn't this the Morgan Freeman character right here on the steps?
Easy Reader,
yeah. So I remember for a while that people, when they would talk about this book, that they would talk about that this is the first appearance of the Morgan Freeman character. Mm-hmm. So, which is kind of cool. But man, this is a really cool find. Hey, listen, guys, this is just goes to show that it pays to open up your books every once in a while. Shout out to people out there who say, open them things, go through them every once in a while. They're not that delicate.
Right.
Spider Dwayne.
Exact. Hashtag Spider Dwayne.
Yeah. I want it all over Instagram. I can't wait.
Hashtag Spider Dwayne. What's his last name in it? Did they give him a last name?
You know what? I don't think so.
It'll be Dwayne Morales in my heart from now on.
This is the first appearance of a Morales Spider-Man.
Oh, goodness.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, very cool stuff. And
I mean, dude, it's just like a powerful book. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was cool. And then I took the time to read it, and I was like, oh, this is way more important than I ever thought.
Pretty cool book to find right now, that's for sure. That is for sure. All right, let's, I say we talk a little bit before we get into the reveal of John's beautiful cover with Wanted Comics. Let's talk a little bit about some of the news that happened because of WandaVision. Oh, WandaVision, the failed spec of the century.
We're gonna have to get, out there. Brian, you're going to get like nationally syndicated with your ability to kind of like rope people in and then yank it back from them.
Yeah, failed spec of the century on WandaVision. Everybody, let me ask you guys, do you guys wish that they would have went with some of the spec, or do you think they played it off? I thought they played it off terrible. I thought the end was bad.
Well, I don't know that it's dead. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not thoroughly convinced that we won't see Mephisto or Chthon or Nightmare or a half a dozen other characters that we've been told we were going to see during WandaVision and Doctor Strange or the Fantastic Four. You know what I mean?
Why give it all up right away? You know, tease it out.
Exactly. Give us. I'm fine with the slow drip.
Well, the thing that really got me the most was the Quicksilver part. Pissed me off that was Ralph. That was so terrible. That was a terrible, terrible play, in my opinion.
No, I thought it was hilarious.
Really?
Mr.
Yes.
Donner? Some people like dick jokes. Some people don't.
Dick jokes, chicken fart jokes are great, but that wasn't a good one. Yeah, that wasn't a good one. I will always laugh at dick and fart jokes to the day I die, but that wasn't a good one, man. Like
I just thought it was enjoyable. It was a fun little ride.
Yeah. When I realized she wasn't gonna say no more mutants, I pulled my House of M books. Not because I didn't think that the auctions were gonna do well, but just because I think that there's still a shot of that all happening.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like I just don't I don't know that any of this stuff's dead. The tipsters are so damn good. It's like they're never wrong, and for them to be wrong about everything doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, the Magneto thing was a far stretch, in my opinion. I didn't expect it ever, but a lot of people played the Magneto. They threw out the Magneto talk that we might see Magneto somewhat in there. It would have been cool. I just didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, that was my like fake wet dream that I never expected to happen. But like one thing I wanted to happen, it was that.
Well, when Agatha Harkness asked, "How do you do it?" I'm just like, "Oh, that's simple answer. She's a mutant."
Yeah, they really messed up, in my opinion, on the whole mutant play. They could have. Maybe they can't. I don't know. Maybe there's something that's holding them back. But
They don't want to roll it out yet. They got so much time. They got nothing but time now.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was weird to play this character in that role and not be the multiverse type play. It just didn't seem right to me. But it is what it is. I really would like to see this character continue in the MCU. I think that this version of Quicksilver is a great character in the MCU. I thought he did a good job for the most part in WandaVision until the end, which was just weird.
Real talk, I don't think any of these stories are over. None of them. So you can always hold out hope. None of these stories are over.
Well, this one was the big one, right? We never really got a payoff on the astrophysicist or aerospace engineer play. Everybody thought it was going to be, Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, or maybe even Blue Marvel or Adam the Blue Marvel. Did we even get any answers on that? I forget who it was. Who was it?
They never said.
Yeah, we didn't get one, right?
Nope.
Longer play.
And again, remember, Fantastic Four's coming, and Blue Marvel is her girlfriend, or is her boyfriend, rather, in the Ultimates universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
well, we know that she's going somewhere. She's going off to space. Just don't know what she's going to do in space. What do you guys think?
We're going to see her in Fury, I assume.
So it's interesting that you say that. That was intuitively what I thought, John. And then Brian, when I talked to him, was like, she's going to be in Captain Marvel. And frankly, she was so good in that show, I wouldn't be surprised if she's not given a significant spot in Secret Invasion and in Captain Marvel too.
I think all of these play together, and I think we're going to see her next in the Nick Fury show.
John, did you catch the WandaVision finale?
Sorry, me?
Yeah.
I'm just listening. Yeah, I did. And I work in this industry, and I've been in enough writers' rooms to be able to tell you with absolute certainty that it is always the long play.
Nice.
I can tell you this as an insider, being in the room and having worked with many writers directly. I wasn't on this series. If I was on this series, tell you guys a bunch of stuff, but it's always the long play, and it's always to be feathered out like this, not to be DC, essentially.
Amen.
and I mean that dismissively. I have the utmost respect, and I'll go on record anywhere. I cannot understand how Warner Brothers has animation in one hallway and right across the way is DC Films, and they never talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's astonishing to me. That regardless, Marvel, a good friend of mine storyboarded this, WandaVision, She-Hulk, and Winter Soldier, and he said it is a beautifully functioning lament configuration. It's perfectly a combination of agony and ecstasy.
Wow.
It is absolutely thought out, in the sense that when I went to Skywalker Ranch, I was expecting a flowchart on the wall of Star Wars and all its delicate intricacies, all interconnected, either by a Venn diagram or flowchart or whatever the case may be, forming some beautiful, elaborate tapestry. Not the case at all. They just made that shit up as they went along.
You know what Marvel is to me at this point? It's a Swiss watch.
It really is. It's precision, it's accuracy.
Absolutely.
It's deliberation, it's balance. They know exactly what they're doing. And and this is as a fan first, I acknowledge this. Besides being in the game, I'm also a fan of it. And I can assure you that I was speculating. I wasn't buying comics, by virtue of trying to jump that train. But I know other people did, and all the power to them. But I was speculating. I said, you know what? I am going to shriek for 15 minutes like a falsetto fangirl if John Krasinski shows up as Reed Richards and says, "Hi, I'm Reed Richards. I'm here to help." For 15 minutes.
I think that's what a lot of us
recorded it and put it on the internet. Here's me.
a lot of us were kind of hoping for that too. That was the big talk and the big play about that engineer. It would have been such a great, and everybody, I don't think I've ever really heard anybody say that they do not want, that they could not have Krasinski and what's her name as Sue or Reed and.
Well, remember, John Krasinski, he auditioned for Captain America. And Emily Blunt was Kevin Feige's first choice for Black Widow.
Yeah,
they're known entities. They are clearly in play. And I don't know John. I haven't met him.
We're losing.
I can assure you of this: that the people who are working with Kevin Feige, they are known entities. So I'm hopeful, both as a fan and as a professional, because I think that would be the kind of move that the entire internet would break in half. Yeah. If they were Reed and Sue.
Well, some of the good spec that has come out of this, or some I don't know if I call it good spec, but more stuff that is happening, that we do know is happening, or that we have a better play on, right? I guess you would say. Would you say that, Nico? Like some of the stuff is
depends on what you're talking
about. A little
about.
Sooner. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some of these books, the Chthon books, as I like to call him, Chiton, and what a terrible name, but I get it. It's the whole like Cthulhu type stuff, I guess. But this character is. There's been people talking about this. It's been on the Hot 10 before, or books about this character.
Yeah.
I believe
it went from a zero to a hero. Like it was a horrific spec. It was like, who cares? And then the last episode, the final scene at the end of the credits, it's like, holy shit, there she is on the mountain. Oh boy. And some of that stuff kind of leaked out. You got the Book of Darkhold that was absolutely there. And the hope is that we'll have some sort of Chthon like entity. Now, everybody and their brothers got like these fast and loose theories. I don't know that any of them are necessarily like more reliable than the others, because at the end of the day, Marvel could absolutely do sort of, a composite of a number of these different story arcs. If they've taught us anything, it's that they like simple, neat explanations. And, maybe we get Chthon or Nightmare or Mephisto or whomever. Maybe they're linked to the Darkhold, and maybe it's just one composite character. I don't know. But all of those books are still selling.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's lost faith in it. And I think, frankly, people are so excited about comics, they're going back just to try to read the source material, and that's beautiful in and of itself.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this run right here, this Avengers 180, what is it, 183 to 187 or something like that. That's an important run that a lot of people are reading right now. And so is that West Coast Avengers run, right? The one of the few people that made it out alive or left that place, and we didn't hear anything about, was the Vision, the new Vision with all the memories and stuff. What did you guys think about that? Do you guys think that we're going to see? I mean, obviously, we're going to see something about that later on down the line. Are we going to get more in-depth Paul Bettany acting? Because I know there's word on the street that he doesn't have anything, waiting for him, to act in. But I think that they have to.
Oh, I think it just could be, phase 5 before we see him again, maybe.
Yeah.
Wait till the right story comes about. They've got so much churning. I mean, we've got multiversities, and we've got, there's just so much in play that I think it's just going to be a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's probably just as likely that we don't see him for years as it is that they roll out the Vision, Tom King with the White Vision television series for 6 episodes, and we get Viv. I mean, it's hard to even give like a good educated guess about any of this, because they can do whatever they want. They have a ton of money. Everybody who's anybody is desperate to do this kind of work, and sky's kind of the limit.
All it takes is a phone call and the click of a pen, and he's back.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I wanted to say real quick, Disney released these, we're going to do this movie. They released that whole thing, and people are like, wow, that's amazing. And then they say, but can you give us more detail? Like, can you go smaller and tell us more? And I'm like, I don't think people will ever be satisfied with the theories and what's on screen and so I think that they are right to just do what they're going to do and let the market do what the market's going to do. And like I said, Swiss watch, they know what they're doing, and what they're going to do is going to blow our minds. We'll see what happens.
Amen.
I thought the most beautiful moment in that series, and it was, tonally its own ride, but I thought the discussion between the two visions about the boat of Theseus is far more significant than just that conversation. I think that's going to be your overriding thesis statement for the next few years.
Oh,
great. Well, because it covers the X-Men and it covers the Fantastic Four, because they've pre-existed as properties elsewhere, and to reconcile that and bring it in and dovetail it with the MCU mythology, I think that that particular missive will turn out to be extremely relevant as we move forward. And it's not by accident. That was absolutely deliberate.
I love stuff like that.
Oh, man, it's beautiful. It was a weird anomaly at first. I'm like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. I need so much more of this. And it was a beautiful moment. It really was.
As a guy,
the whole television series was.
It was comprised of gorgeous moments, like beautiful beats, where you're like, this isn't right. Why am I tearing up? What the fuck's wrong with me?
Who was talking? Somebody was saying on a show recently, might have been Drunken Chat or the Hot 10, was talking about how it was kind of sad. You know, it in the end it seemed very sad, really sad.
About a woman dealing with her profound, crippling trauma. And trauma is never gorgeous. It's never emancipating. It is when you move through it. But as it's happening to you, it's the most fucking horrifying thing.
And she lost him twice.
Yeah. Like, dude, it's terrible enough losing the love of your life once. I couldn't fucking wrap my head around doing it twice.
Well, maybe this version can keep himself alive.
What's that? Sorry?
Maybe this version of Vision can keep himself alive.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Well,
but a beautiful sentiment, right, from Paul Bettany's most recent iteration of Vision, where he described grief as love persisting. I mean, I thought the whole television show had these kind of like poetic moments that were as good as high literature.
100%.
It's very Star Trek.
Oh, get out of here with the Star Trek talk! I don't even want to hear it. Nobody brings up Star Trek on this show like it's serious. Come on, it's always part of Paul's problem or something. But what I do want to do is I want to talk about a gorgeous cover that we have the artist on the show tonight of this beautiful, beautiful cover. Look, you guys ready for this? So I'm going to show you guys. This is a gorgeous book. Now everybody remembers the original Ha Ha book that John did, and what I'm going to do is you guys should be following Wanted Comics on IG as well as following John at Uncanny Knack. But you guys remember this absolutely gorgeous cover of Ha Ha #1. That was my introduction to John, and I fell in love with this cover. I talked about it a lot, how I thought it was the cover of the year, and even though it came out, we saw it before the end of the year, but it came out after. I still said this is cover of the year. This is just the best. And then we had another book come out recently, and let's see here if I can find it on here. I probably can't find it, but another gorgeous John Gallagher cover, and this one.
This is a full screen moment, folks. I just want to say.
Yeah, here we go. So this is #3, ladies and gentlemen. Ha Ha issue 3. How creepy is that? Jesus. If the blue-haired guy wasn't good enough and you knew you had to bring him back, then you bring him back super freaking creepy.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
Look at that. Like that is amazing. All right, so I don't want to give too much of the story away, but we've had different characters in the first couple issues of Ha Ha, and I know we all said that we would love to see more stories about the character in issue 1, but this is a different character, I believe, and it's a mime character, as you guys can tell, and Drew, we talked a little bit about Drew, but John, how did this cover come up, and talk about how Drew came to you and you guys talked about this, putting this together. Oh, are we going to lose him? We might lose him.
Nico, why'd you share your internet connection with this guy?
That kind of internet night, huh?
Yeah. We're gonna remove John and bring John back. Let's see if that works. All right, so there he is. There you are. There you are. There you are. You broke out of it. All right.
Oh, that's okay. I was going to say we're setting up our own MCU, so I'm kind of like Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
We're going. Except I'm not rich and incredibly talented, and world famous. So we're started out with I call him Mr. Blue Jangles. That's the clown, and then we have mimes. we know that mimes and clowns are mortal enemies.
Yeah.
So we're eventually going to bring them together in a clash of circus culture. I'm kidding. It's just really, like, Drew really loves black covers, and depending on who the retailer is, there's certain retailers that say we have a real problem with them, and Drew loves them. I kind of dig the Caravaggio thing where it's just a black space behind him. Saves me having to do a background, and it lets you concentrate on the character. And these are just bold, simple colors and bold, simple shapes. And they're really a blast to get get going. And I'm a little unnerved by both. I don't have like childhood trauma attached to either clowns or mimes, but I find them a little troubling, just in general. So it's easy for me to turn them into horror staples. That's not too difficult. And yeah, we want to have a consistent feel between our circus characters, because you'll find out as we do 4 and 5 and 6 how this all plays out.
Yeah, I hear they're just going to get even better.
It all works out in the end.
Yeah, that's the best part, is that Drew said, "Oh, you think this is good? It's just going to keep getting better. Going to keep getting better." So
John said, as we do 4, 5, 6. So it sounds like we'll get some Gallagher covers moving forward.
Oh yeah, there's yeah. I just, I'm really fortunate. Very fortunate. I say this all the time. I'm kind of a lucky tourist in the sense that I get to hang out with you guys and learn more about a whole part of comics that unless you know people who are doing it on the ground in a really, really kind of kick-ass way, you wouldn't really come across naturally, organically. And the best part about this is I get to hang out with my tribe. I get to show off some cool stuff. And I 100% all the time have huge gratitude for this. But I also love doing this stuff because, as I've said many times, comics is why I draw in the first place.
Hell yeah.
And this is kind of my love letter back to them. I get to do these covers. And there's really something kind of just the coolest. Like, yeah, it's the same feeling you had. Remember when you were a kid, and you guys all collected comics when you were kids?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Right? Like, of course, right. And you remember when you got that book before anyone else, and you come running over to like your clubhouse, whatever your clubhouse was, whoever's place that was, you rode over there on your shitty bike. And you throw down the issue, look what I got, and you read it before everybody else. This is kind of how like I feel when I do a cover, because I'm like, I've seen it, you haven't seen it yet. Like it's my little jam. But this one was just creepy. It's just about being as creepy as possible, and again, the throughput being the really unnerving blue wig, and
it is
the fact that. Stitching your mouth closed in a horror movie for whatever reason, and yeah. I'm a diehard lifelong horror fan, and the more grindcore the better as far as I'm concerned. But the one thing that always unnerves me is the small stuff, like someone getting cut in half with a chainsaw. I go, but it's like when you get your fingernails pulled out. Yeah, or your eyelids slashed.
Or I hate when they have their mouth sewn together and they try to talk and
yes. So
what
I did here was I was like, what's the worst thing that can happen to you? Well, yeah.
This reminds me a lot of those McFarlane Tortured Souls figures.
Oh, yes. Dude, you know what? Those were my daughter's Barbie dolls. It's a real horror positive household here.
Hey, John, you mentioned Caravaggio, who is my favorite Baroque painter, and also that the use of chiaroscuro, the extreme light. I love it. That it legit looks like you can just reach in, or he can reach out and grab you. So I love it.
Thanks,
you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the first time we see somebody do a sick tattoo with this character.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or with the character on issue 1. I can't wait for that because this looks like some really sick tattoo, some stuff that tattoo artists can play around with, and I can't wait for that. I love seeing that stuff.
Or one thing that jammed me the first time I saw a Darth Revan cosplay was seeing this stuff cosplayed. There's just nothing like it. Like there's no, as a creator, there's no feeling And I know a lot of, like, especially old school creators, they maybe have their issues with cosplayers, and fuck them. I don't care.
Amen.
Like, no, just you know what? If they have issues, keep your issues wherever you need them. I think they add a tremendous amount to the Comic-Con experience personally. And when seeing someone cosplay a character that you just kind of hard scrabbled that. Let's say it's kind of a generic mime, but if that dude walked up to me, I'd be like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Let's get a picture.
If people start cosplaying scary clowns, I'm out. I'm not going to the con anymore.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm kind of torn myself. You know, I as much as I'm genuinely not unnerved by them. I know people who are clowns. I know puppeteers. I know stilt walkers. I know, performers in Carnival Diablo. Like,
I mean, Tim Curry ruined me, man. That's it. I can't do it.
yeah, you know what? It really had a significant impact on a lot of us. But that said, it's, Jim Rose Circus. I knew Jim used to come into Edmonton all the time, and we used to get all messed up, and you're just hanging out with wild people. So genuinely in my DNA, I'm not scared of clowns at all. But
I'm unnerved by Spider-Man in cosplay at cons. They fucking freak me out. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
Well,
it's true.
Put some fucking gym shorts on or something. You're freaking me out.
I want to remind everybody
to
keep an eye on wantedcomics.com for this. You guys, we showed the wantedcomics.com High Republic issue on Hot 10 last week. You guys can go get that over there right now, as well as a bunch of other really good exclusives. But make sure you guys are keeping an eye on wantedcomics.com for this book to come out soon. And as they've teased,
it's out, bro.
It's out.
Yeah.
There we go. Boom.
So, yeah.
So the Marchand-Rowe or the Rochambeau covers, as I like to call them, are available. So, but keep an eye over there for this amazing issue number 3 from John Gallagher. Wow. John just really killed it on this, and we can't wait to see what's coming up next. You have had some amazing covers coming out in the last 6 months, my friend. So keep it up.
So can I make an announcement?
Oh,
sure.
All right. Drew and I are doing a bunch more, of course, of We're having a blast doing them, and he's doing banger business. So that helps both of us. I just like doing them because Drew's an awesome guy. And it's always a pleasure to work with cool retailers. I'm doing 4 Department of Truth covers.
Ooh.
With Hive.
Shout out to Hive Comics, James and Jonathan.
Shout out to Jonathan and his gang.
Yeah.
I also have Something is Killing the Children coming out.
Hello.
Out of the vault.
Uh-oh.
And what else do I have? Oh, I'm doing Old Guard.
Love that.
Out of Time cover coming up.
Nice.
And I just got Shadow Man.
Oh, no kidding.
Valiant one. Yeah.
Nice.
So you could do some fun stuff with that one,
dude. I'm excited. I mean, I'm not doing any Brother Voodoo. Some
shit.
One.
Oh, there we go.
I rolled that one up. So those are what's coming up in the next few weeks.
Not bad.
3 or 4 weeks.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So make sure you guys keep an eye on John at his IG. It's Uncanny Knack, as you guys see there on his name there. And make sure you guys follow Wanted Comics with an X on IG and wantedcomics.com. Give them a shout. Let them know that you saw them on saw us talk about them on Flipside, and let them know what a good job they're doing. And we're gonna give away a book real quick. So let's do this. Let's give away a book. The book being West Coast Avengers number 45, the first vision that Nico has been nice enough to share with everybody there. You guys can kind of see it up there. We'll show it here in a second. But here is the winner. Let's give it a go. Justin Senna, he said, WandaVision is so good. Love all the hidden Easter eggs and can't wait to see more Photon. Justin Senna. So, Justin, if you're watching live, let us know. Make a little comment down there. But if not, you can hit us up at Tales from the Flipside channel at gmail.com. Send us your information, your address, and what book you won. The book you won is West Coast Avengers number 45, and we'll get that sent out to you. You can also hit us up at IG at Tales from the Flipside. So Justin Senna for the comment, WandaVision is so good. Love all the Easter eggs. Can't wait to see more of Photon. So pretty cool. Very cool. All right. You guys want to get into Market Report? I know everybody's geeking out over Market Report. Before we get into Market Report, let's just talk a little bit about how crazy the markets. I mean, I feel like every week we talk about, okay, what should we have our title be? And it's like about how crazy the market is. And it's like every single week, how crazy the market is. So I don't know. Are you guys getting a little worried at all?
Let's play it this way. Let's talk about some of these prices, because I did something a little different this week. I didn't go into too much analysis. Because I've been out of the show with work stuff for the last month and a half, and I said, what's prices now versus roughly 90 days ago? Let's just look at some of this.
Okay.
It's nuts. I mean, this guy is approaching 2K. How is that possible?
Jesus Christ.
Well, there's people clearing the internet too, because the second and third print 9.8s were about $300. So I listed mine for $800, and then I heard my eBay cha-ching.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I'm all $800. Okay, I bought it. Well, I think while I was on this show in like a couple months ago, like probably January or something, right? And
I remember.
I was like, nah, I'm like, these prices are going up. I'm going to buy a third print. So I started listing a bunch of slabs, and I was like, I don't really want to sell this. Put it on the internet for $800. And it lasted a week. And it sold last week. So yeah, I sold a third print for $800, but there were a bunch available at $300. You know what I mean? If I was the only third print, I would have been like, oh, screw this, $2,000. But because there was a bunch of them, and so somebody's clearing them out and raising prices. Just being honest.
But it's not just this book. I mean, this book.
I know that.
It's everything. I mean, this one's not quite doubled, but I mean, it was under $1,000 not but 90 days ago. So
yeah, that's great.
Which, for the record, I thought was insane.
I'm going to keep going, and then we just show a few more. Let's talk through them and get a sense of what we're watching. What do you got next, Brian? Oh, is Brian not working it? Never mind. I guess I am. All right. That's all right. Brian popped out.
It's medication break. I'll be right back.
All right. I will do my own. I'll do my own stunts. Secret Wars 1. This one blew my mind.
Now that's some bullshit right there.
Direct edition, $810, and I went, what?
It was $300, right?
Was I gone for 10 years? It was a $300 book 90 days ago, and probably 180 days ago it was a $150 book. So
I had like 5 9.8s in my cart on MCS for like something like $390 to $450 each, and it's like just do it, dude, just do it. And then I didn't just do it. I won an auction for a newsstand 9.6 for like $90, and I had to use my eBay bucks or whatever that I had left. I was like, oh, this will be okay. And then I put that thing up for almost $300 at a 9.6 newsstand. Then I started getting emails and watchers. I was like, fuck that. I just pulled it offline. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just freaked out right now. And that was only a month ago too.
Yeah, this is 90 days, guys. This is not years. This is months. So I'm going to show a pickup because I bought one of these not but 2 weeks ago, a 9.8, not newsstand because I haven't found one. But I was like, they just keep going up. I'm going to buy one, and I paid $700, thinking, all right, it'll be a few months before I recover. I got this in the mail less than a week ago. Now it's $830. Two or three more sales, and it's always up $50 the next time. $50 the next time. You could have got this for $400 and some change 90 days ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this is a lot of the trend. It is real crazy to see. I'd pick some books that maybe weren't necessarily doing that. G.I. Joe #1 is another one that's nuts. I honestly thought it was nuts 2 months ago.
Yeah, I have a friend I told to sell his. I think it $600 or $800 about a year ago. He may never speak to me again.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Screw that. If you have money for that, you better have bought every sealed G.I. Joe figure and vehicle made.
Yeah.
Because screw that. That's stupid. I'd rather have the toys than that.
I agree.
For $2,000.
Yeah. But it's way easier to store comic books, as we all know.
That's true.
It is.
But I'd still rather have the toys.
Toys, toys are cooler to look at.
It's coming from the guy with all Masters of the Universe slabs behind him. So whatever.
This guy was $850 3 months ago, and probably 12 months ago was $300, maybe $400. I don't know. And as I said, I'm not sure. I was always the pessimist of the market. And at this point, I'm like, there is something going on, and I'm buying some books before I may not see them again. What happens in another 90 days? They may be out of reach. Some of these ones that we thought were always, they'll be there. Usagi, Through the Moon.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Move on.
Remember a little friend of ours from many years ago used to say this was a great book at 9.8, $100, and we're all like, hey, what are you talking about? You're on crack.
Oh, yeah.
$2,000. It was $625 90 days ago. Wow. And nothing before that.
Well, I sold a raw copy for like $80.
Yep, me too.
I sold my 9.6 for $125 like 6 months ago.
There we go.
Spawn 1, even the book that there's so many copies of, even in 9.8, it was $100 book in my mind for the rest of life.
Fuck it, I'm buying 5 of those tonight.
It's $250 now. I thought about it, trust me. $250 now. It was $140 90 days ago. It was probably $125 for the last decade, other than the newsstand. So I don't know. This is another one. Nico and I talked in December or January when X-Men was kind of picking up. What about Bishop? And I went, it's already $200. It's a $100 book. Nah, $350.
Dude, he's already been in a movie.
That doesn't matter. They've all been in movies.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Can we take an interlude? So this is the conversation that John and I had. I have it all the time, and I'm just beginning to actually appreciate it. Sean, you're too smart. I'm too smart. The people that are spending this crazy money are not crazy comic people.
No.
Right?
Yeah, I really don't.
We need to take a step back and think about what the guys who are just getting back into comics after 5, 10, 15, 20 years will remember, have some nostalgia around. Not the super sophisticated, I've been at this, as a real serious buyer, reader, collector for years, decades in some cases, because it's these kinds of perennial books and nostalgia pieces that are going bonkers, that are going like 5 times, 10 times what they were overnight. It's wild, but that's the one thing I am increasingly confident of. It's staring us right in the face. That's what we're missing. It's the Spawn 1, I'm afraid. The Secret Wars 8, the Bishop.
I'm not lying. I said no at $200 2 months ago. I bought one for $300 yesterday.
Yeah, they were 150. They weren't 200. That's where we said no.
Yeah, because it's a $75 book. I literally am I'm throwing my money at stuff, and I don't care anymore. I am not playing the smart play. I'm not playing the I'm going to buy the book that nobody's thinking about. I'm just buying bread and butter.
Come on, John, you don't gotta panic yet.
No, I just am like, if I can't afford a frickin' first bishop, where's the world?
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I still had, I definitely had some Ultimate Fallout like 4s, not very many, but like left, not necessarily 9/8 or anything like that. And I was just like, you know what? This is just gonna keep going. And I know obviously this can be more part of the report later on because you can't leave it out at this point. But then like in the last few weeks, I just kept buying more. I bought like 19 second prints.
Nice.
You know what? They're worth more money, and if I get a handful of 9/8 out of them, which looks like it's going to be possible, this is free money.
You know what the crazy thing?
I don't know when the good time to sell is.
Never marry down.
I started seeing the second prints go up to 600 and 650, and the white second print is 400 as of today or yesterday, and I started seeing that, and I was just like, I'm going to 900. And I was like, I got 18 copies of Grade. I should get some money back out of one of these.
Yes, you need to move. You can move a few at that point.
Yeah, at this point. Don't get me wrong, but the way CGC's going, I'm not guaranteeing any grades, that's for sure.
The crazy thing to me is the talk in the back channels with a lot of the big collectors and the big minds and speculation. They're saying they're holding on to books.
Oh,
like a couple months ago, it was sell everything you can sell. And now everybody's going, whoa, maybe we need to close up these boxes.
Right.
That's what worries me.
I ain't selling shit worth anything. I'm selling tiny books right now. I pulled a lot of listings the other day, and I don't care.
I'm keeping like high grade variants and stuff up, like higher grade prices in my opinion. But like first appearances, that's what first appearances and iconic books seem to be where things are like super overinflating.
Well, maybe it's because variants were so overinflated.
Good for me, because maybe so. But people, if they're truly rare, by now we all know if they're truly rare. Like everybody here, we know what went on diamond sales. We know what people found pieces of. We know what people find. You know what retailers didn't buy 50 copies of, and they weren't over. We know what's rare.
Well, I think the other issue is you got to go back to Nico's statement. We're overthinking this.
I swear to Christ, you are.
Yeah, I mean, the variants are rare, but they're not that they're not going up. Some of them are, and some of them are doing well out the gate. Let's look at, some of the retailer variants that are just killing it. I mean, John's got several here, but look at some of those things like Lost 23 that we love. It has been stagnant for 5 years in price, and it's not moving. But these books, these bread and butter books, are going crazy.
Yeah, new money coming in from non-traditional comic investors, right? Whether they're from venture capital companies or sports cards or Pokemon or wherever, are now treating pop art in the form of comic books as a kind of non-traditional investment, like its own form of Bitcoin-esque currency. And they don't really understand comics the way we do. And they're buying shit like X-Men. I remember X-Men. I'll take that X-Men.
Well, it could be day trade new millionaires on this stuff, who knows? This book, other than Miles, is the one that defies logic. And I cry silently daily on letting my copy go years ago. Giant Size X-Men 1.
I think I called Bishop, and I was
Me
like,
too.
Miles a little more popular than Bishop.
Pick a grade. Pick any grade. It's through the roof. This one is. I was actually surprised. 90 days ago, it was 3,700 for a 9.0. 9K yesterday or day before. I almost tripled in 90 days on a book that was still going at a pretty good trajectory before that. I mean, it was going, 50% to 75% year over year, and now it just.
What do you think explains that, John? Any number of factors? Anything in particular?
So to me, this is the book besides besides 181 that everybody remembers. This is the cover to me. People know the Ghost Rider and the Werewolf by Night and all that. That's more esoteric. Get deeper into the nerddom. But this cover is everywhere.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith said it was the first book he ever paid over $100 for.
Yes.
First
Wow.
book I ever paid over $100 for.
Yeah, that makes 3 of us. I had 2 copies, one that had writing on it and one that was clean.
I bought a copy that has the little printer issues at the bottom for like $250, like maybe 10 years ago.
Yep.
I bought this a couple of years after it came out. When I first started buying comics, I was like 11, 12.
Yeah. Nice. This is the book we all wanted, and I foolishly let it go. I don't even know what I bought with it. No, I do. Never mind. I bought my Crime Suspense 22 at the time. So
and it's coupled with being, so it is with 181, like in the fact. So I suppose this is third Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
So like that being such early Wolverine, and then second appearance of Cell and things like that. Also, yeah. Well, I did make a mistake of telling my wife how much my copy's worth now, and she's like, "So it's on eBay?" I was like, "No,
no." It might be worth twice as much next year.
I was like, why? I paid the mortgage, babe. Everything's fine.
Nico and I said, "What's the ceiling on this book?" And my new answer is, "What's the price of 181?" That's the ceiling to me.
Makes sense. Because it's a harder book, because it's square bound.
I don't know. They're looser on it a little bit, but to me, still, 181 is gonna still be on top of this one, but it could edge within, let's say, 5% of it, and I wouldn't be surprised. So
yeah, and they're not real hard on 181. Let's not kid.
No,
and it's a great. I mean, it's a great cover. I have a book that relates to it in a pickups, but we'll get there. But it's it's a great cover. It's a great team. And, I think we talked about it before, but I think X-Men 94 was, I remember, I could be wrong, maybe because I was young.
You're not.
But X-Men 94 being the bigger.
Yep. X-Men 94 was always the bigger book when I was a kid. It was
just by a smidge, but
yeah,
yes.
And because they looked at this as an annual, more as like a one shot or an annual. And X-Men 94 was in the Uncanny run.
Yeah.
And it blows me away at how quick it changed. It was like that probably 10 years ago or something.
That's probably a good call then. Not that people aren't bringing this up but the annual, is it 14 Gambit?
Yeah.
I mean, they intended it. They intended those books, I believe, to come out different times. 266 and Gambit annual 14, right? There's 11.
Yeah.
11's rough. Right? Okay, so 14.
Correct.
14, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that, and it's like, well, it can't be that far off. But then again, I mean, this has a lot better cover than X-Men 94.
Oh yeah.
Like, so let me ask you this then. Let's look at some prices of X-Men 94 real quick. Do you think that X-Men 94 is something worth taking a look at right now?
I thought it was. Honestly, like the last time cons were sort of active, so like year before last, so I went because I thought I wouldn't get one. So I did buy a 9.2 of 94, and I think all I paid was like $800 or $900 or something. And obviously, so it is following it. I think it got left in the dust enough that it's never going to catch back up.
No, I think there's better place.
Yeah, okay. But it's a great play. Plus, when we keep talking about this, when people get priced out, they move on to something else. 180 was always worth like 1/10 of the price of 181 or 5% or some shit. Now it's not going to catch it, but I mean it's a clear. I mean, we all know the cameo first is the oldest argument, of this age of comics. But like to see, so it's gonna be worth more. It's gonna keep going up. You know what I mean? Who doesn't? If you can get a 9.0 of that, and you've got a lot more people have 3,000 to spend than have 10,000 to spend. Just that's life, you know.
Yes.
So I think we'll keep investing. I'd invest.
Oh, Key Comics just dropped a great comment. Like, this is crazy. Exactly, Big Leg. People priced. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Hard assets, man. People in Russia bought coffins because they held their value. That's crazy, man. That is a crazy saying right there.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, like the maximum You can kill somebody in Russia. It's like 7 years maximum sentence.
More
would be here if we had the maximum sentence of 7 years.
More Sean facts. Just
All right. The other book that
I was trying to keep a straight face. You guys are fucking yelling.
other book we can't ignore is Ultimate Fallout 4.
State bar complaint. Here it comes.
Even the picture that I took is outdated. It sold for what, $31.55. Sean said.
Yeah.
90 days ago, it was in its lull from when it was 15 about 6 months ago. It lulled down to about 900, and I thought, wow, that's not a bad time to buy. But I kept waiting for a little more. The next thing you know, it's $3,000.
I'm literally the biggest grumpy old comic man around, right? I'm the old guys on the CGC boards that you're convinced are 80, live with a dead relative, and they don't like your new comics. Like, that's me. And I just traded 2 major Golden Age books, basically horse traded them to pick up a Djurjevic variant with a chance of a press into the near mint category. The world is upside down. When you guys asked me for the podcast title, I was like, "The roof is on fire."
Yeah. I'm tired of being the crouching old man. I'm just gonna play it. I'm just gonna go. I don't care. I'm just gonna buy something. Just buy something and go. This one actually is interesting. I just put it on the list because, well, you got to put this one with Miles. 6 months ago, this one was 6,000 and change. This one sold for 6,000 and change. So stagnant for now, but not nearly as many of these guys come up. So
no, that was nobody's. No, it's legitimate. I'm not going to call it scarce by today's standards, but
it's tough.
This wasn't one that in Backman's Spider-Verse #2 caught everybody. But little did anyone know that 5-issue run of Edge of Spider-Verse was going to change comic and movie history forever.
No.
There's no possible way. Do you think? Remember we had this? We're talking about when we used to have a sort of a raffle room back in the day. Like, I remember people fighting because someone put a copy up for $60, thinking that they're trying to get over the room. And it was like, all right. And there were 10 copies that went between $30 and $60.
Ugh.
And I will say, unlike John, I've never owned this.
I had 3. I sold way too early, so I don't want to talk about it.
I almost bought a 9.8 for $2,000.
Should have.
They were $2,000 for years. You know what I mean? You just figured, I'll get around to it, and now we're here.
I wrote them
stuck with a 9.0. I thought I'd get around to it.
I bought in at 700 and bought 3 of them. One was sadly a CBCS and didn't do as well on that one, but I sold out at $2,000 and was like, sweet. I'm like, shit, I could have held. Why not? Another book, I didn't take a picture because there wasn't really any sales. Batman Adventures 12 is an interesting one, and 90 days ago is $22.50 for non-newsstand. The last one I can find sold of a 9.8 on GPA is February 21st, which is in the market we're talking 3 weeks ago, basically, was $28.60. I haven't seen one under close to $3,500 listed right now. I mean, nobody's selling at a real price. They want you to jump. And I don't even know if it's wrong. I contemplated hitting the button. Trust me. What else we got?
That's it. Yeah. That's a good
Werewolf by Night, another one, a big time book. I know Sean loves this one. 4K 90 days ago, now 5,700. That's 50%.
He lost that fight, by the way. Anytime I got my boy Jack.
Oh God. This one is an interesting one. There's only been 2 sales in this grade, but 90 days ago it was $750. Now it's $17.51. I think this is show hype, though I do think it's an undervalued book on average. So we'll see if it sticks. I contemplated buying one, but I thought, I'll wait till after Winter Soldier. That could be a mistake. So I guess we'll just have to see, because it is a book that I thought was there was some room to grow. So maybe it's grown into it. Maybe this is just somebody that got lucky. I don't know.
Stein had it in the Hot 10 this week.
Great book. I would have wished I would have bought it a little earlier, but we'll see what happens. This one tends to ebb and flow a lot.
But
Anthony
let's be honest.
Mackie and Sebastian Stan's comics are like the biggest yo-yo comics of them all. And those guys are exceptional. They're hilarious on and off screen. I think this show's going to be a big, big, big win.
Mackie's been doing Netflix stuff, and everyone I watch, he's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody thought it was going to be a big show until they saw that first teaser, man. That first teaser, it looks so good. I did not expect it to look and to be that it looks really fucking good.
It's a good point, Brian.
I think we all discounted like those Marvel shows and what they were gonna be. Like the WandaVision show, I discounted it kind of off. Like I was excited to see it, but I just wasn't expecting a hell of a whole lot. But they turned me around.
Yeah, and Feige we trust.
Yeah, I did throw some Golden Age on for us just because we like to see it. 2 wraps of Superman 1.
Damn.
Sold for $5,000. So just not even, it's okay.
Were they centerfolds?
I don't believe so. Doesn't look like it. It looks like outer wraps. Adventure Comics 48, first Hour Man. This one is restored. Just don't ever see this book for sale, so I thought I'd show it. Beautiful book.
Pretty cool.
And then, I'll give it a little pre-code horror. I don't know if DS is still hanging around, but gotta keep him happy. Chamber of Chills 23, beautiful zombie kiss cover. You can't go wrong. A nice looking copy there, actually. So, and I know Brian's got a sports card or two.
Yeah, I'll hit the card stuff quickly. This was interesting. This was a card that I talked about early on, one of the first Flipsides I think I was on. And this was a $500 card 10 years ago. And now this card sold for $38,000, according to Stein. So, yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Maybe Floyd bought it himself.
Well, you think that's crazy. How about the Tom Brady PSA or Beckett Grading 8? A BGS 8 sold for $1.32 million. A playoff contenders, auto rookie, a PSA or a BGS 8.
Is that the same one that sold for $250,000
yes,
maybe a year and a half ago?
I think a 10 sold for $250,000 about a year and a half ago, yes.
Yeah, and we all thought, wow.
But it's Beckett autograph 10.
It doesn't matter, man. Did
they ever give a 9 in the autograph on that?
No, I've never seen anybody get a 9 in autograph. I mean, unless it was terrible autograph, but
it's smudged or something.
Yeah, this was very rare card. They didn't put many in the set. I think they only put maybe less than 100 in a set. I shouldn't say anything. I can't remember exactly, but
I thought it was a pretty low number, lower.
Yeah, because you got to remember, the round he was picked in, some of those players, they don't make very many cards of them. And this was back when Playoff Contenders was the first set that ever started doing short printed auto rookie cards. And they didn't do it on purpose. They did it because the players that they short printed weren't really supposed to pan out. So they didn't have many of them signed. And Brady was one of those people. And this was the second, or I think 98 was the first year they did it with the Peyton Manning class. But 2000, this is 2000. Really tough card to get. But I mean, you could have bought it for cheap as hell the first, 2-3 years of Brady's career. 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. PSA 10.
Yeah.
Yep. $3,100. And this is about the going rate. Yeah.
Did Ken Griffey Jr. have a career in baseball is it like one of those time warp things where I remember the past, but that's not really what it was like?
No, it was like that. When he was the kid and he didn't get hurt, before he hurt himself,
but that was for 6 months.
He hit
from 88 to 2000, he was he was putting up the numbers. I mean, we all thought that he was going to break every record in baseball.
Yeah, he ended up like 15th in the home run list. I think didn't he hit 57 homers 3 years in a row?
Dude, the most beautiful swing in history of baseball, right?
I mean, I would agree with that. I remember that. I just remember him being injury ridden.
He was.
But again, I was a kid. I you know what I mean? I was just a little kid.
Yeah.
$3,000. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's crazy. This one's crazy. A PSA 8 Walter Payton rookie went for almost $2,000. A PSA 8. One of the most iconic cards in my opinion. I love this card. I own one in an unopened pack. I've talked about it many times on the show. But to see PSA 8s going for this amount of money is crazy. All right, here's a funny one. Everybody's talking about these damn NFTs, these non-fungible tokens. And
oh, God. Do you want to explain what the hell they are to people who still have a little hope left in their life?
They're basically just videos that you own the rights to.
They're on blockchain.
Yeah, they're on blockchain. And
it's a Sports Center highlight.
Yeah. And you buy a pack and you get 3 of them in each pack and then you own them. And here's what an unopened pack are selling for. They're selling for $1,700. And here's a Michael Mulder out of 18. There was 2,021 of these made. And I never even heard of Michael Mulder, and it sold for $711. That's crazy.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that hadn't ever heard of Michael Mulder. I was like, what's a Michael Mulder? What sport he plays?
The amount of money being dropped.
I don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, the amount of money being dropped into these is
we just killed John.
Crazy. Yeah,
see what we did with NFTs?
Well, that was a Paul's problem. Wrong.
So, the non-fungible tokens are crazy. I'll let other shows get into them. I don't like them. I'm not a fan of them. There's a lot of money being put into them right now.
Well,
I mean,
listen,
a lot.
I don't dislike them. I think for people like artists, comic artists that are digital artists, it's a way to like actually have an original and monetize it somewhat. But
I'm deep in NFTs at the moment.
Well, let's hear some about them. Talk about them. Tell us about them because we don't know much.
Okay, well, in a general sense, like what an NFT is going to do for you, and I'll relate it to what I do. I can't speak with authority, for example, on selling audio clips or video clips or any of that. But for a digital illustrator like myself, the long time challenge has always been how do you provide collectible value. And I mean collectible in the sense of artisanal collectible value, like something that can be resold to somebody else as an authentic piece of work. And authentic, I mean analog. Like when you go to a museum and you see a Rembrandt, it's one of one, and you never doubt its authenticity or its circumspect its value. So with digital artists, because digital is often been seen as disposable or built to be reproduced instead of built to have its own posterity.
Yeah, it's hard to monetize.
Exactly, because it's all prints. You're just like a million prints. Who cares? So what we're doing in our case, in my case, is I create a piece of work and I provide a certificate of authenticity. It's a code, an alphanumeric code that is unique to that piece. It's an equivalent of a stamp of metadata. So it's unique to that piece. So when someone buys my original for whatever I say, I want $5,000 for it, and they own the original, and I can negotiate if I do prints of it or not, but they'll always just be prints. The original exists somewhere else, in the same way that Mona Lisa has prints of it. So this is like it's not really so much a correction as a necessary evolution, because I see my work stolen constantly, all the time. I see it everywhere. And what it does, or what the advantage of this for creators who are high profile enough to be stolen all the time, it gives us a safeguard to protect against that. Also, we participate in the resale of our work. So if someone picks up the NFT for my Batman that I did, they buy it for $5,000, and I negotiate a percentage of resale value. So I can say, well, next time it sells for $12,000, and my resale is 50%. I make $6,000 on the resale. So I participate effectively in a form of residual in repurchase of my work continuously down the line for all eternity. And then I sign it over to my daughter when I die.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't understand the sporting clip aspect, and I don't. It's just a different market. But to me, for comics and you know, standard art, it is real interesting, and I think it's needed because even I've talked about it from comic artists. People are like, you know, I bought some art back here that's inks on blue lines because the original artist did it on electronic and just printed blue lines. So there is no quote real art to some people. They say, well, that's just a print. You know, that's a print with some ink on it. And I'm like, there's no other version until all of a sudden there is.
And when you were talking earlier, Nico in particular was talking about a different kind of buyer. You're looking at a different kind of buyer for NFTs, generally speaking. I mean, depending on where you land in the ecosystem. Collectors of NFTs are people who want ownership of a unique thing. In the same way, like, for example, comics, you're buying books and you go, holy shit, why is the price so outrageous? I'm effectively have the opportunity to name my price off the jump. So in other words, instead of expecting the market to adjust and buy Miles Morales, you know, UF4 for $3,000, I can set the price digitally of what my work is worth out of the box. And that's an interesting opportunity, and it aligns itself more with gallery work without the pretense, right? Because gallery work is customarily, and I'm sure there's always exceptions, customarily gallery owners are tastemakers for assholes with money but no taste. And they want to purchase or invest in something that gives the impression of good taste. And as much as I'm not going to dictate what the terms and conditions of that good taste are, I think a lot of people love comics because it's beautiful work, it's timeless, it's meaningful, it has significance and purpose for them. And they want to invest in that, but they're like, oh, there's only one drawing of, you know, that Batman shit. So in this case, you can actually set up commissions, you can own the original, and the artist will participate forever. And it's really us, and by say us, there's a lot of artists who are resistant to this idea because they just think it's gold rush bullshit. Well, it's gold rush because it's new.
Yeah.
It's still figuring itself out. It's an organism that's evolving as, you know, options diminish or you know, clearly become dead ends. It's finding its feet. So, you know, there's a lot of people waving the big fat hand going, this is all bullshit, and, you know, it's garbage, avoid it. I think it's at any artist's peril that they ignore it, willfully, deliberately ignore it. I think
look into it and find out if it's something that could work for you, because it could.
Absolutely. And you know, my pal Cody, Boss Logic, he and I, he's in my Discord group that we have. There's a bunch of us, and I'm new to it, but these guys have been shaking and moving for a little bit. None of them pretend to have all the answers. None of them are, you know, that somehow they know what they're doing and no one else does. But Cody just had a sale where he just shy of $1 million. He sold some pieces for people, and he was able to pay off his parents' mortgage, which I thought was really a lovely thing. But he's a young kid and he's got good advice around him. And I think as it moves forward, and again, all of this is in flux at the moment. But yeah, Cody, he cleaned up.
Good for him.
John, let me ask you a couple questions real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, look, what the fuck do I know about non-fungible tokens or Bitcoin or any of that stuff? I mean, nothing. But, I have these initial conversations with people about this stuff. They talked to me initially about it in the context of, I hate to call them sports cards because they're really just sports plays. And my first question is, well, do you get like the IP rights to show the NBA breakaway dunk? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, who has that? And they're like, I don't know, the NBA or ESPN. I'm like, well, I don't know. That seems less interesting to me. When people would purchase your coin, would they thereafter have some sort of like, because if you own the OA for a piece, you can put it on a T-shirt or whatever, right? I mean, it's
entirely up to you. Cody has one arrangement with Eternity. I mean, I think they have him exclusively now. But another friend of mine has an arrangement where he negotiates his pieces individually. When he goes up on Nifty Gateway, he has terms and conditions that are all negotiable. So you can negotiate merchandise. You can negotiate the long tail of earn. If it's a pump and dump where you're just selling one piece and that's it, and you don't worry about whether it goes on T-shirts or whether it shows up on car decals, that's up to the artist to negotiate. And most artists are terrible negotiators.
Are there standardized brokers that have kind of emerged in the NFT game, or is this essentially like being borrowed from sports and now comic artists are trying to find their own way in these groups on Discord? Or
there's as it's playing out now, there's a number of venues that are I'm in the process of putting my intro video together because they're very big on intro videos, to ensure that you're a real person and that you're not a fiction. You're not an IP in Serbia. No offense to Serbia.
They wanted me to scratch off some eBay gift cards and send them the serial numbers.
You don't know how popular Tales from the Flipside is in Serbia? Base, right?
Hey, I got Russian comics today in pickup, so let's not.
My man.
And it's figuring, and I always suggest this, that it's the definition itself of ownership is going to be different. It's not going to feel like it used to. In this space, it's going to be a change of mindset, and I think that's something to keep in mind too for people who are, perhaps gravitating to it. That it's not.
It was made $10 million on Bitcoin and didn't, and now they're like, "Fuck this! I'm going to buy me some of these NFTs. Now's my chance."
Yeah, and in the same way, for example,
Nico.
And in the same way, for example, you can expect as the NFT space, the ecosystem starts to really, get some muscle and some bone on it, that it's going to behave probably quite similar to comic speculation. Like people will be, it'll be like trading Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I don't mean that just dismissively, but
no, they're already doing it. They're already doing it, John. Yeah.
I'll give you 2 Grimes sound samples for that Boss Logic NFT.
Yep.
And the artists participate in the sale of that. So I'm a big fan of artists getting their fair share. I don't think they should necessarily be overcompensated by any stretch, but it's going to consolidate, and I think people have to give it a hot minute to kind of
Feel itself out.
reconcile itself, because there's a lot, like, think about it. You remember like 1995 when the internet was just figuring itself out?
Yep.
And everything was a potential, billion-dollar idea. Well, there's a dot-com bubble, but remember there was there was a lot of excitement and a lot of misinformation. I think we're in a similar space to that, and I think the idea of patience here is something that seems to, in some people's minds, rushing to judgment. You go, listen, give it a second.
This is the beginning. Who knows where it ends? But the idea is that we're in a digital world. I talk this with Nico a lot about, like, the end of nostalgia, because my kids don't own a lot of anything. I mean, a lot of what they do is digital. So something's gonna happen. It may not be NFT in 5 years, and maybe whatever the next thing is. But this is that infancy of the idea of digital ownership of items.
Hey, and don't tell ETA, Nick, but there were a ton of young people at this show in Cleveland. It was heartening.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
I was thrilled.
Well, $1,700 a pack for these things that I guess were $14 a pack off the rip.
What's this guy's name again? We don't know.
What?
The guy that
Michael Mulder. I don't know. I've never
definitely
heard of him.
looking him up. Looking this guy up.
Chat, let us know if you guys remember how much they were for the packs to begin with. But
they were like $7 to $14 or something.
Yeah, crazy. Well, all right, let's get back to some of the just the tangible stuff. This is crazy. A PSA 8 Larry Bird Magic rookie, the famed Bird Irving Magic card. And a PSA 8 is $10,000, so that's nice. That's a good one. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Well, I'm surprised it hadn't jumped in the first place, to be honest with you.
How about this one? A 90 score supplemental Emmitt Smith rookie card in PSA 10 is now a $2,800 card. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, this card was always a big card people wanted, but in the early 2000s, this card dropped. I mean, I was picking up raws of this for like $10 a piece. It's hard to grade and high grade. I wish I have a 9. I don't have a 10, but for $2,800 for a 10, a 9, we're seeing some of these crazy prices on PSA 8s and 9s. How about this one? The 91 Upper Deck Jordan card. That these things, they printed millions of them. PSA 10 are going for $1,200 a pop. They printed so many 1991 Upper Deck, you guys, and we're going to see later in this market report what a case is selling for right now. This is junk wax era stuff. 1990 to 96 is like, or 93. Guaranteed 90, 93, 88 to 93 is like junk wax era, man. And then most of that stuff after it was junk wax. And it's crazy what junk wax is getting for prices now. So if you guys are, I've talked about how I picked up a bunch of junk wax cases. You're going to see some of those here. So this is interesting. Me and Stein talked about this card recently. This is the same, the 96-97 Topps Chrome, or Topps 96-97 year for basketball. It's one of the greatest years for rookies. It's got the Kobe, the Allen Iverson, the Stephon Marbury, the Jermaine O'Neal, the Steve Nash. I mean, it is just loaded. Ray Allen. Absolutely loaded. We see what the Kobe's are going for. They're going for ridiculous amounts of money. Here's the AIs. The AI raw. It looks like it's really good centering, but raw, $1,600. Absolutely bonkers, guys. This is crazy. Here we go. Junk wax. I got 2 cases of these sitting behind me. Right, 1990-91 hoops, not 89-90, not the David Robinson year, rookie year.
These are the silvers, right?
This is the silvers with the Menendez brothers and the Mark Jackson card. Okay.
Yeah.
This is they're going for almost $2,000 a case right now, guys.
You could have bought those for $5 a box.
Yes, $5 a box. You're 100% right.
I think I bought some just for my kids to open packs at one point.
Yeah. How about this?
Wow.
Not even PSA. It's, I don't even know. Is that SGC? I don't even know what that is. Oh, SGC. Sorry. Old school SGC. Maybe a new style SGC. I don't know. 8.5 for a Jerry Rice rookie. An 8.5 for $860. 800. Me and Stein were talking about this the other day, and when it was at 300, this was a couple weeks ago. I think Stein was in that conversation. A couple weeks ago, a PSA 8 was a $300 card. Now it's almost $1,000.
Vegas. Okay, the PSA DNA autographed are like 50 to 100 on eBay.
Yeah,
a little weird. But anyway.
Yeah. All right, this is interesting. 2016 Bowman. I wish Stein was here to talk about this one. This is so crazy. A 2016 Bowman Chrome Juan Soto refractor gold at a 50 auto sold for $80,000. You guys, 86 bids. And it's a 9.5, which is like a PSA 10. This is a really hard to get card, and it's numbered to 50, and it's his very first card. He's like 16 or something there. Obviously, super young. $80,000 for a 2016 card. Yeah. More junk wax. Here's that 91 Upper Deck baseball where you can pull the Jordans out of it. $2,000 for a case right now.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Cool.
More junk wax. Remember 9091 Skybox?
Oh, God.
$1,000 a case. How about 8990 hoops, the David Robinson year? $2,200 a case. Here's a 9192 Skybox, the white bordered year, $2,000 a case because it has the really cool Jordans in it. Let's get into some of the old Impel stuff. These are dropping a little bit, but they're still holding strong. $1,700, $1,800 a box for Impel Series 1 Marvel cards.
Hey, for the record, I have a friend who has an unopened box. He is committed to opening them in spite of everything that I have tried to impress upon him about how horrible of an idea that is. I think he's agreeable to just driving to Stein and let Stein do it. He knows nothing about sports cards, nothing about comic books. He's a gold, diamond, and gift card buyer. And if I can negotiate that, maybe we'll have a video coming for you guys about.
Don't open it.
Yeah, I already tried. Yeah,
yeah. I put him on the phone with McClay, with our buddy who's like an actual comic card guy. Before all the craziness, like he loves it. He tried to talk him out of it. Some people just love to gamble, and in spite of my prudent advice, he won't listen. So.
Well, here's some more. You got your Marvel Masterpieces. They're dropping a little bit, but they're still $500 range for unopened boxes. These were sold right back to back to back. Like, literally, this is my cut of them. So yeah, there's your guys' market report on some of that crazy stuff. Absolutely bonkers.
And when prices drop, it's when people realize what the fuck they have, and they're like, "I paid $5 for this back in the day. Yeah, I'll take $380 instead of $400." You know what I mean? So when shit gets drug out of the closet, that's how we know which variants are rare. When Spider-Gwen sells for $6,900 and a bunch more don't hit, that means there's not a lot of them out there. You know, the cards are different. We all know there's a bunch of them out there, but but not that many unopened boxes, I assume.
No, and that's why everybody's going crazy, is because you have your best chance to pull high-grade cards, obviously, out of unmangled, man-handled wax, Yeah. So, but, yeah, crazy stuff. Listen, 193 live viewers, and we appreciate every single one of you. Please hit that like button. Do us a favor. Tell us how we're doing. Let us know what you think of the show and what you think of the channel, what we can do better for you guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you for hanging out with us. All right. You guys want to get into some pickups?
Yes.
All right. Let me I'm going to get rid of this.
Can the East Coaster go first? Because it's getting close to my bedtime.
Yeah. Look, the old man's got to go first.
I haven't had any pickups in weeks because I've been out. First one I bought some art. I got actually more art coming, but I saw this the other day on Facebook. It's hard to see here. And I showed it to Leg, and he's like, "Oh, cool, He-Man." What it actually is preliminary art for a toy box. It's actually Faker and Bizarro by Bob McLeod, and it is the preliminary art for the back of this toy, which was an SDC exclusive. and they used the poses for it here. So I was like, faker art. I never see that. I'm gonna take it. So
yeah, and because he's not kind of colored in there.
yeah.
That's why I'm like, oh shit, that's fake. And not Battle over He-Man. That's faker.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I thought that was an awesome little add to my collection. You know, I don't buy expensive art because I just can't afford it. But when I see a cool piece for a reasonable price, I do love to grab it. So that's that. I mentioned Russia. I got a Russian New Mutants 98. We've seen some Russian books pop up recently and more modern ones, and they're we're not sure what's going on. We almost think they might be print on demand, and we just keep seeing more because the price dropped on those. Talking to a couple guys in the group, this one was like their free comic book day, which you can actually see the logo here. Way less common. They've only seen a few of them pop up, so I grabbed it. Who knows? There could be bootlegs coming, but for one that's a few years old and just not common to see, I took it. It's pretty nice shape. Along those lines, I talked to Paul, and he actually has these. These are from 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bootlegs, number 1.
I love it. They're not bootleg because they're officially like.
Are they licensed?
Yeah, look, open one up, man.
Oh.
Inside is Nickelodeon. They're printed in what, 2017
not
or
like
something?
14.
Russia
14, yeah.
asked someone in the United States to print those.
I have no idea.
I don't know what this means. I don't really think anyone in Russia. I think they just make what they want.
I don't know, man. There's like Nickelodeon owns the rights, and Nickelodeon's logos on the inside, and they're smaller than normal comics. Either way, they're pretty cool. Print on demand, whatever. I don't care.
People are paying several $100s for like the free comic book day US ones and the 12 prints and all that. I'm like, this is a unique book. You aren't going to find many. Paul and I have the copies I know about. And I know a lot of foreign collectors. Paul and I have the ones I know about. So,
only Russian comics don't have the word "the."
Yeah. One more foreign, and then I did buy one US. Well, I showed the Secret Wars. I picked up at an auction for $10 on eBay the Mexican Magnus Robot Fighter #1. I do love these old Dell Gold Key heroes. I love Magnus. I think it's a fun character. I always talk about it. And this one I scored for $10 because nobody knew what the hell it was. So very, very glad to have that.
That looks very clean too.
It's got a little dent on the the spine's a little worn here, but yeah, it's overall a real nice copy for a freaking Mexican book. And then I did buy a newsstand Teen Titans Go #1. Because it was not listed as a newsstand. I've been trying to find a nice high grade one. This is better than the one I have, but I wouldn't call it super high grade, so I let the quest continue. So thank you.
Not bad. Not bad.
Good stuff, man.
Carter, you got any pickups?
I'll tell you what, I got a preview
Carter's life is pickups.
I know.
It is. It really is. I'm swimming in pickups right now.
If you don't follow him, follow Mercenaut on YouTube and check him out. I mean, he's got stuff all the time.
That's true. That is true. Preview of the next haul video. I showed John that I picked this up.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
The most undeniable store variant.
Yeah.
Because I told him I hate store variants, but this is the jam right here.
Oh yeah.
We all have love-hate with store variants.
Right, but this one, to me, this has normie appeal.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
Right? So, boom. Okay, check this out. Pick this up for $1. The advanced previews of what is this?
Wildcats?
Wildcats.
Yes, it is. What date? May 1992. So this actually predates the Malibu Sun #15.
Wow.
So we picked this up for $1.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even know this existed.
I didn't know that existed either. Yeah.
This is freaking awesome. And what else? What's next? Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's do this one right here. We have a Jen Bartel cover.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
For
Jim
Mr.
Bartel blowing up.
Yes, this is it right here. And this is a book I will never stop talking about. I will never, ever stop talking about. So we have Sarge Steele, number 3 from 1965. I want to say 1965. And this is the first appearance of the Smiling Skull.
Wow.
I talked about this like probably the last like 2 videos, but this is
creepy.
Literally one of my favorites. This thing is dirt cheap. You can find this thing for probably no more than $20. I'm pretty sure about that.
Wow.
So,
the
appeal about this is that it's a Charlton, and James Gunn is using a lot of Charlton characters, right? So I mean, and this character is really obscure, the Smiling Skull, but James, like I said, James Gunn is weird enough to want to put something like this in his TV show. So boom. So that's my small preview.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Sean, you got anything?
Yeah, I do. So I'm gonna throw first. I haven't bought cards because of cards blowing up and me not being able to like find them for regular human prices. You know what I mean? The things I like. So I haven't been super big on the Project 70 or anything, but it just depends. So there's a reason I bought the other one. The reason I bought so the Griffey happened to go on sale with the other. So and I thought it was great. So I added it to the cart. But the big one is, and I'm an Angels fan, I'm not a Dodgers fan, but to buy this thing, so like
the Turner.
To the Turner but this is a guy named Jonas Never. It's like the best mural artist, like if not sports mural, not just sports by any means. But you heard about LeBron murals getting painted over in LA and stuff when he came to town and things like that.
What's his name again?
Jonas Never. And he's a friend of mine. And when I saw him online, so there was I lived across the street from this bar called JP's, and he bartended only Sunday nights at JP's, like as a side. Dude, look at this guy's work, dude. Like, dude, and that's like, look at this. This guy's look up Jonas Never, follow him. I think it's Never 1959 or something on Instagram. This guy just does the most savage stuff, and he's finally getting his due. And he got the ability to do Justin Justin Turner art. That's him with the Venice background tattoo and stuff. Some of the most famous stuff that this guy does is amazing. And so Sunday nights in Santa Monica, he would get me even drunker than I would get myself. Just a cool motherfucker. And known him from a long time. And this is the kind of work that this guy does all over. So that was him actually announcing. And that's Justin Turner signing some of the work that he did for the project for Never 1959. These are inside restaurants in Santa Monica, dude. Like if you can get this guy, he's your guy.
Outstanding.
Right? Look how the art is just there's the art.
There he is painting your card right there.
Yeah.
That's a Cal State Fullerton Titans jersey because he was a relief pitcher.
Nice.
Back in the day. I don't think he made the show, but was a minor league relief pitcher for sure. And just everywhere across LA, when you see something amazing, it's usually him, and it looks so great that's usually his work.
That's pretty cool, man.
So that stuff, and just a great dude, man. So there's that. So I grabbed those. I grabbed the Griffey because it was on the same day. So I grabbed the same. So my pickups are the stuff I pick up, sort of the same stuff. Not gonna fall off the Killmongers. So when I'm just number one copies. Whatever, you know me. I'm gonna try to grade it eventually. I found an Ice Cream Man second print. So I got those. Those are good. I got a bunch of these, but the Del Auto Voices Legacy from Unknown. Like I said, not the biggest store variant fan. But like when something's gonna just hit, when someone's hitting it out of the park, like the next book I'm gonna show. I didn't have to think twice about buying like max sets of the Miles Dunk, right? I was just that's gonna sell. So I bought these. I got extra copy of those. What else do I have here? I did. I do have to get quick couple comic book invest shout outs. I did get finally get my High Republic from Comic Book Exclusives.
Nice.
Comic Book Invest. And give a shout to Phil from Vintage Comics and Toys. They did an article on Comic Book Invest. I'd had it up here. It's like the top 10 underrated X-Men comics. And so I completely agreed with him. Like this one. So this is the first new costume, right? So we're working with X-Men 39. And when they just finally, it even says on the label, when they finally change the costumes and stuff like that, which is, this book is 1967. 1967. And so it was like, we're talking about them switching costumes in GSX and X-Men 94 and everything like that. And he made the comparison to Daredevil 7, where he went from yellow to red. Now, I'm not going to go as far as that because it's not just one character, but these are the X-Men costumes, right? I mean, I'm like, yeah, that's criminally undervalued. Didn't pay what I think is a lot for a very fine Silver Age book. It even looks better than an 8.0 in there anyway. The black cover, super difficult. I know where I got it, so it's probably pressed. Anyway, so I grabbed that guy. And there's a good Comic Book Invest. There's a nice article there where I want to thank Phil because he's going to turn me on to the book. And then just because I don't stop buying Masters of the Universe 9.8s. I think I'm going to do an Instagram thing on it pretty soon. Most of the shit you see behind me are 9.8s from Masters of the Universe. It's probably easier to collect in comics because there's less of them. There's not if you want to collect all the Masters of the Universe books, if you don't include the mini comics that came with the toys, there's 100, 200 books to get. So maybe it makes my life easier. But I do think, yep, that's all my pickups.
Not bad. John, you got any?
I got nothing, man. I was working.
Oh, geez, he's too busy.
Yeah.
He's too busy drawing great covers.
Yeah, no pickups for me, but I'm a big Marvel Bronze Age horror fan, so my ears always perk up when I hear Eerie 12, or I hear Werewolf by Night, or even Ghost Rider, Son of Satan, any of those. So if anyone comes across any good buys on eBay, ping me up on Instagram or hit me on email and pass along the intel, because I'm always happy to jump on that.
I think those are really good buys. I also think the DCs are as well. There's a lot of the Witching Hour and stuff like that. There's a lot of 70s stuff that's I think, someday. If you see it in a high grade at a con or something,
I'll pop on it for sure.
Just put it in your backpack and
Ghost, Supernatural, The Witching Hour, even old Dead Man's, The Spectre I have already, Swamp Thing.
Totally.
I'm kind of landing in that space. That's because I think you should start where it's closest to your heart and move out.
Well, you got to be into horror to draw stuff like this. So make sure you guys keep an eye on wantedcomics.com for John and Wanted Comics' new HaHa #3 cover. I know you guys all are doing your best to get the other ones. Oh, there we go. Plus, look at
one of my pickups from a couple weeks ago, John. I found this on Etsy, and it's like a dead ringer.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love
it. Jack Russell, some Werewolf by Night, just dead ringer. So this is gonna go. It's gonna go on the wall. But I'm trying to pick which Werewolf by Night comics are going to go next to it.
You may have noticed behind me here, I have a new visitor.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it.
And the hat's turned backwards. Here, I'll grab you the hat. If you watch Paradise PD on Netflix, you'll remember this hat. Remember Carl the Redneck? My daughter. So I thought, in the interest of it being International Women's Day, I'd turn the hat backward.
Oh, yeah, looking out for yourself.
Out of respect and decency, and being responsible.
I got a Titleist hat in a Titleist font. It says Ditties. For certain occasions.
We're monsters. We're clearly monsters.
Paul, you got any pickups?
I got some. I posted on Instagram my gigantic mountain of packages I haven't opened. I finally opened them. but I have not done a haul video. But I went in the other room. I pulled some special ones for Mr. Gallagher. I have Empire 1 through 4. His some early.
Oh my
work
God, no!
by
That's
the
awesome.
man.
That is awesome.
And,
We talked about that last show, guys. Make sure you guys go check out the last episode John was on. We grilled him about his early work.
I'm getting a headache.
I'll turn your headache into a migraine. I got another set for you.
Yes. My God, they're terrible. Oh, they're so bad. They're so bad right now.
I got those, and
I'm so glad you picked those up. Though.
Absolutely. Great. And I got one that I thought was just pretty. I love Betty Page. My wife loves pinups, and so this is Betty Page Unbound number 10. That's a nice little homage here with her on there. And I honest to God, I like this better than the Virgin because it has the title on it in red, and I think it pops with the black and white. So I picked it up, just a PC copy. It's not gradable for anything worth it, but even if you can see even her lips, little red lipstick, so just a little bit of pop of color on a black and white. Yeah, to me, nice. add to it. So that's what I got till I can find some time to film that pickups video.
Not bad.
What about that back corner over there? You got his homage cover sitting in the corner.
Yeah, Chamber of Chills is sitting right there in the corner.
Yeah, it's, getting dusty. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's your book, buddy.
Well, all right. I'm going to end pickups off and the show off with the final pickup. This is from Pop Archival and Pop Shippers on IG. Make sure you guys follow them. They're doing some really cool stuff. We're going to be sending in some PSA cards hopefully shortly. But they sent me one of their first editions of their PSA multi-sport packs, which they sell. I forget the price on these out the gate. Make sure you guys follow IG on them. But basically what they're random PSA graded cards. So he also sent one to Dino. So Dino, when Dino comes on next week, he'll open his. But let's get into this. Let's see what we got here. This is super exciting. I love shit like this. And they send them in their Pop Shippers, which is cool. And they're, let's see if I can get this to work here. Same thing that you can send them to PSA in, and they open just like this. And there you can see in the pack, it looks like you have a chance at some really good cards. There's a 1980 Topps, not the Bird Magic, but a Magic rookie on there. So that's one of the cards you can win. It says it's limited to 50 packs. You'll receive one PSA graded card. Find rookies and prospects from Magic Johnson, Barry Sanders, Randy Moss, Mike Evans, Zion Williamson, Shaquille O'Neal, Alex Rodriguez, Tua Tagovailoa. Is that how you say his name? I think that's how you say it. Kyler Murray, John Morant, Reggie Miller, and many more. Veteran hollows and rare inserts. So you can see some of the cards. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see what we get. This is the fun part. I like the seal they got on there. All right, here we go. Jason Kidd, a 1994 Stadium Club PSA 9 rookie card. Not bad. I'll take a Jason Kidd rookie any day. Look at how cool that looks on the inside there. It's all.
If he ever leaves it to the promised land, his cards will go through the roof since he's on coaches.
It's got the coating on it. Stadium Club members only. 50.
Walking double.
That's a pretty cool card. Not bad.
Nice.
Do you think Steve Nash is gonna take Brooklyn to the championship, to the chip?
Yeah, they have Blake Griffin now.
What's that?
Yeah, because they have Blake Griffin now.
Yeah, I know.
You know my dog named Blake.
I know.
That's how that goes.
But thank you to Pop Shipper. That was cool. I definitely want to know when more of those are going up for sale. I do want to throw out on that note, more Stein packs are coming available soon. So make sure you guys follow the Wall Comics on IG. He is going to have round 2 of the famous Stein packs, which are awesome. And again, one last time, I want to thank John Gallagher for hanging out with us. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you more than you know, and you're more than welcome anytime. You're part of the crew now, man. So anytime you want to hang out, you're more than welcome. And everybody in the live chat, thank you so much. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.